Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nasty Gram RPG podcast. This is Cyberpunk Red Rising, Episode 5, Red Team.
To the heart of a cynic, redemption. Now I'm waking to pains and shaking. My thoughts are running out.
This is your Screamer upload coming to your data pool. Well, my Chumbas, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Stay out of old Japantown. The gang war between the Iron Sights and the Tiger Claws is downright apocalyptic. Big moves by small players suggest corpo fucks. Once upon a time, everyone knew their money came from the same place. These days, who knows? What this lowly media neck can confirm, they are both slamming it on and flatlining anything that goes in there. Don't forget to subscribe to Little Birdie. For the price of a kibble pack, I'll keep you alive in Old Town.
Hey everyone, Dan here. I am going to be your game master in the realm of Cyberpunk. I'm joined by...
Hey everyone, this is Jake, and I'm going to be playing Fish. Are we saying what we are?
Yeah, why don't we, just to throw it out there, these are new characters.
I don't know what I am, though.
You're just, you're Indiana Jones.
What's your archetype?
Mm-hmm.
My archetype is field researcher.
Okay. All right.
What's good, fam? It is Matt here. I will be playing Mazzinho, a gang-banging heavy gunner.
Sorry, that's a classic pairing. The
Yeah.
field researcher and the gang.
Hey folks, John here. I am playing Slash Root, the lead guitar in the heavy metal electro rock band The Mimikatz.
Hey, this is Devin. I'll be playing Bugbear, the brawler, the little brother.
Ah, yes. The four of you have just opened your eyes. You're in the office of the Baron. Gone are Surat, Mr. Switch, and Yuri. Those four men are actually your prey now. And you've just finished a brain dance of some of their last known moments before they were taken by soldiers that showed up inside of an area that you saw called Zone 6, some sort of facility run by Onizuka, a subsidiary of Arasaka Company. Can everyone make a perception check for me? I'm going to need to get a list of the skills just to make sure I remember all of them.
11 for Slash.
8 for Bugbear.
12 for Mazzinho.
14 for Fish.
One thing you noticed, Fish, on the video, on the brain dance, is that the soldiers that you saw before everything kind of faded to black, none of them had any sort of branding on them. They didn't have any recognizable badges or information that would let you know what faction they were with or what organization or corporation they were with. So it's kind of unusual when you think about either mercenary groups or edge runners or corporations. Most of the time, everything is branded, which then you kind of roll around in your head when you're thinking about branding. You do realize that every one of them was using the same type of weapon from the same corporation, and that's Militech.
So Fish is wearing this like headset thing to brain dance. He takes this like helmet visor off with all these wires connected to it.
Does he not have a jackport?
He does not.
Wow. A Luddite.
He puts the helmet down and rubs his eyes. Fish is probably in his late 50s, white beard, bright blue eyes, short white hair, but a mohawk. Think like, I don't know if you've seen Pierce Brosnan recently, but
Okay.
very good looking, but older man. And on the side of his head, on both sides of his head, there's a tattoo of a fish, one arched one way, the other the opposite way. So both halves of like the Pisces symbol. And he rubs his eyes after taking off the helmet, and then
You all right, old man? That was a hell of a trip.
he puts on a pair of wire rim glasses.
You ever brain
Actual
dance before?
glasses.
He Slash taps you on the back.
I have, but it's a bit disorienting.
Yeah, especially if you're zipping through time. Man, that's crazy. That Sir Rat was like in one place and not the other. The hell was happening? Is that even possible, Fish?
You're having this very kind of candid, friendly conversation with your teammate, as it were. And if we're looking at this whole kind of scenario, the layout before us, we see the Baron, who, if we remember from previous games, a large man with this kind of black skull, chromed skull, kind of big jowls, a pretty imposing man, is sitting nervously in a chair by his desk that you've secured him to. One eye is swollen shut, and there's blood running from his nose. He's wheezing slightly, probably from a broken rib. And then the room you're in is dimly lit by LED strips that are embedded in the walls. And there's comfortable furniture, some of it overturned now from where you breached the room. And in contrast, there's sort of soft music playing in the background as compared to the violence that's been going on. The data term attached to his desk glows softly, and there are a few screens in the wall running various reports, and that's about it.
What does Slash Root look like, John?
Slash Root has long, multicolored hair. His body is basically fully covered in tattoos that constantly shift and change because he has camo skin. And his hair color changes every once in a while. He has a leather jacket on, tattered leather jacket on, kind of faded, with a bunch of patches, band names and everything. The Mimikatz is splayed across the back in like a spray paint. Actually, Sir Rat did his jacket. Nice. And has these ratty jeans that go into boots, like partially untied boots. He has his revolver kind of hanging loosely at his side as he watches the two toughs kind of keeping Baron at bay. And he has like a scruffy beard. Kind of looks, he's chill. He's just hanging out with some friends, doing a little violence, you know?
I think Fish's style is like street professor.
Yeah.
Like he's wearing like jeans and like a nice shirt with like a vest over it, but it's probably like a leather vest, you know?
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Sitting on the nearest table where things have been pushed aside is sitting cross-legged, thin, sort of smaller young adult man, but his arms are way longer than they need to be. And as he's just constantly like wringing his knuckles and like cracking his knuckles and like rolling his hand into a fist, you can hear the pistons and whirly gigs making noises in his cybernetic arms. And he sort of tilts his head, and you see he has this bald head with little like lights for input ports that go along the center of his brain, sort of his head like a mohawk. And he when he tilts his head in the light, you see his skin is like a hexagonal pattern that sort of shimmers when the light catches it a certain way.
What's that indicative of?
That is indicative of subdermal armor or
Okay.
subdermal plating. It is a synthetic skin that is very durable.
Hey, Bugbear, your brother got into some dreck, huh?
Yeah. He is a sort of I thought him just a brain potato, but it looks like he found some new tech. Whatever this is, Militech wants it. Bugbear's kind of bothered. He wears his emotions on his face. He just has this grimace, and he's looking at Baron. He's upset, visually upset.
Back by the hole that we breached through, there is a larger man, probably mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s. Body shape would be Dave Bautista, probably Knives Out
Nice.
series, but he is of Mongolian descent. That sort of olive skin. His hair is shaved clean on the sides, top knot on the top of his head, and he's got a heavy machine gun slung over his shoulder, kind of resting. He's resting one arm on the butt of it as the barrel is pointed towards the ground, and he's just inspecting the hole that they breached through. We don't have much more time. Somebody's going to see this hole, and they will be here.
Slash kind of saunters up to Baron, taps him on the knee with his large revolver, says, "Now, Chum, this brain dance feels pretty, I don't know, feels like Drek to me. Is this some kind of trick you're playing? Did you make this brain dance for us?"
His eyes narrow, and he says in sort of his methodical tone, "It is an accurate account of what has happened. Brain dancing technology is expensive."
Yeah, I don't need the history lesson. Where are they now?
Yeah, how'd you get these?
That's a good question, Bugbear. How'd you get these?
I like to keep a record of my employees. His eyes slide over to you, Bugbear.
Again, visually uncomfortable, but also very angry.
He says, "Bugbear, we have history. Surely, as your former employer, you wouldn't take kindly to me sharing your personal information with outsiders?"
Look, we came here to find them. Where are they? If all you can give us is a brain dance, well, you're no good to us.
It's not within my ethics to give you anything more.
Ethics.
This guy's talking about ethics.
I put my hand on his shoulder, my arm around his back, and I start squeezing with you hear the pistons and the whizzing of the cyber arm.
He lets out a short scream as his collarbone cracks. What is everyone, why don't we go around the table quickly? I just want to know what everyone has for cybernetics. You are a pretty chromed up lot, I believe, other than
Other fish.
other than fish. Slash root.
Slash, he has a vocoder cord, so he can change his voice. He also has oral enhancement, so he has advantage on perception against sounds. He's also immune to being deafened. He can turn it off.
Okay.
Helps at metal concerts when
Yeah.
things are too loud. He has camo skin, so he has advantage on stealth as long as most of my skin's exposed. But that probably will never come up.
Unless he's on stage.
Unless he's on stage. And then he has the a scanner eye. He has advantage on investigation using sight, and he can see like UV light.
Okay.
So if like fingerprints are left,
Yep.
he can detect them.
Very cool. Bugbear?
Bugbear has a substantial kit. Subdermal plating, we talked about the skin, the synthetic skin. I have the 2 power arms, which are completely cybernetic from the shoulder down. And they look silly on him, but no one would tell him it looks silly because you'd crush it.
Understood.
I also have a cyber brain with another couple little upgrades that I'll talk
How
about
come
later.
you're not smarter then? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's like the AI only has as much as you put into it.
Yeah, right.
I also actually you don't see it on my, like I wear a shirt or no, he wears a jacket, like a parka with like the fur on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a company called Fibrex. They actually make his shorts too. And he has these green, like board shorts.
Is he running advertisements for them?
Yeah.
That's how he affords it.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a sponsor. There's a QR code on the side of the legs. There's
Use
a turtle
this coupon
pattern.
code.
Yeah. And yeah, but down my back, I have a very significant spinal nervous system
Implant.
implant. Yes.
Okay. And
actually, I actually named all my things and gave them
yep.
things.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
say them because they'll never get
Right.
said ever again.
Mm-hmm.
He has a Z Logic Screamer 2 Pro, his
Okay.
vocoder cords. He has a Genic Echo Mark III, the aural enhancements. He has the Dermalotics Chameleon skin, which is his camo skin. And he has the Vizio Iris Colombo Edition scanner eye.
So my challenge to you is every time you use one of those, you have to use the full branded
Yeah.
name every time you use it.
I'll brand my stuff too.
And Matt, what is
Mazzinho only
Mazzinho.
has a cyber brain and a cyber eye.
okay?
What does a cyberbrain do mechanically? It just counts as like having a computer.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, you
It
need
allows
it
you
to
to-
get
Cool.
a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
So, as you mentioned, Fish does not have any cybernetics. He's kind of weird like that. He doesn't even have like a data port, which is kind of a thing everyone has.
Does he have an agent at least?
Like a handheld one. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
But there's something like he just looks healthier than most people.
What a dig.
No, like like he doesn't look like he's lived in a polluted city his whole
Yeah.
life. In Fury Road when they like meet
Yep.
what's her name and they're like, where are you
Furiosa?
from?
Yeah,
yeah, like
Furiosa,
they just look at her and they're like, what the fuck? Like you're not
Her
all
teeth
fucked
are,
up.
yeah,
Like
normal and-
that. I mean, he's like older, but like that. You look at him and you're like, what the fuck? Like what weird corporate like like eco chamber did you come out of?
Very cool. So as Bugbear crushes his collarbone and you hear that snap, the scream is short and then his head kind of droops forward.
Oh fuck!
Bugbear, Choom, I told you, we're not killing him. We just got to like get him to talk.
He's not dead. Wake him
Is
up.
he dead?
Can everyone make alertness checks for me? Is that a thing? Is that a skill?
Perception.
Perception? Okay.
Is it sound based?
Yes.
Cool.
17.
16.
I'm using my Genic Echo Mark III aural enhancements to make this sound check.
There you go.
And I got a 12.
I got a 2. I'm like, what? He's fine. Wake him up. Wake him up.
So I'll split this two ways. Jake, you see him do this, and John /Root hears it, even though he can't see it. You hear the words, "Now, Rose." Everyone make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy.
Cool. Can I get advantage because I heard that?
Yeah.
Me too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a big deal.
It's 21.
6.
16 for Fish.
Thanks to my Gen Art reflex enhancer, part of my cyber brain, I got a 16.
I'm going to use an ability
Sure.
as a reaction. I'm going to give Matt a reroll.
Okay.
I think that we've worked together before where like you're like kind of across the room from me, like past the Baron. So I just kind of, my eyes go wide and you can tell that I've seen something and that something's about to happen.
That's a 9
Probably not
on the
good enough.
reroll.
Difficulty was 15.
Ooh, just missed it.
What immediately happens after that is the door in the back of this office area opens a crack, and through it rolls a grenade.
Mhm.
The grenade, for those of you, did everyone else make the save?
Yeah.
Bugbear did.
All right. So everyone make Constitution saves for me. For those that made it, you're going to take half.
Can I? Oh, is
do you
that
need?
the volt? I'll just look it up on my
Is
phone.
this
That's all right.
is the con save for being deafened?
No.
Could I use a piece of cyberware?
Yes.
So actually my that Gen Art reflex enhancer, I cannot be surprised, and I have advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
If it would give me enough time, let's say a bonus action, I would activate the lights on his head, like travel down his head to his back, and then you see through his shirt this bright like LED lights that go down his back, and I activate my Sandevistan. So I have an advantage on endurance checks or strength and con and stuff like that.
Excellent. Okay. Everyone make those con saves for me.
16.
24.
23.
13.
Oh, Matt. Everyone makes it. And what it looks like to make it is that you see the grenade, and depending where you are, you either roll to cover or you shield yourself behind.
I push. Slash grabs the Baron and like he's like on a office chair and just wheels him around to the side that the grenade's coming from, basically for his cover.
You use him as a shield. Now, the grenade goes off, and it is not a frag grenade. You immediately know that this is an EMP grenade. It's meant to eliminate or render useless cybernetics. Matt,
This asshole just asked, what do you guys have for Chrome?
Matt, you go blind in one eye.
Okay. So disadvantage
Yep.
for
Disadvantage for any sort of sight-related things. It's not going to last forever, but at least for this scene, it will. They become inoperable for 1 minute. And then immediately preceding that, all the lights go out in the room. Everything turns pitch dark. John, Slashroot feels the thump of 2 feet hard into his chest, like he's pushing away from you.
Yep.
And it is total darkness in there. What do you do? Why don't we roll some initiatives? How about that?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
4.
18,
Time to switch up the dice, Matt.
That was the new dice.
18 for Slash.
20 for Bugbear.
And a 7 for Fish.
All right. Bugbear, what do you do?
In the dark, Bugbear reaches for that arm of Baron, the one, that collarbone that he broke. He knows that that side is probably going to be weak. And I just, like in a flash, not even in the dark, heavy clunking, he grabs, tries to grab it.
Yeah, so you're effectively blind right now.
Okay.
So make it with disadvantage.
Okay. Well, it's a straight up roll then, because with my Sandevistan, I have advantage on
Cool.
those checks. That is an 11 athletics.
You clutch at air.
Where'd he go?
You can hear noises. You can hear the wheels of the chair he was in, and it's being dragged by someone else.
Hey, we're not alone. Lights? Can we get lights?
Anyone got a flashlight?
You guys have agents on you.
Which are probably EMP'd.
Yep, probably. Yep.
Sorry, just looking. Look at my abilities. Who's up next?
You are.
Slash is going to. What was it? What was in this room? It was kind of just an office, right?
Yeah, kind of like a well-appointed office. Like there was a lounge area for like people to sit and talk. There were screens on the wall. There was a large desk and then a conference table, all in the same room. So it was a relatively large room. And then there was the door in the back corner
Yeah.
that you saw open just kind of a fraction before the grenade followed. And a lot of you dove for cover, and then the lights went out after the EMP blast went off.
Slash is going to reach into his back pocket, or his like satchel he has on him, and grabs a can of glow paint that he had on him, and he just is going to throw it in, or put it in front of him, put it like down on the ground and take a shot at it to get it to spray everywhere and get some glow light.
This is where the scene will be lit by black light now.
Yeah.
like Batman and Robin.
The easiest way to do it is you put your hand, kind of the back of your hand, resting on the ground. You put the can out in front of you a few feet away. You can kind of reach it, and then you shoot kind of with your hand parallel to the floor.
Yep.
You're using the right tool, I assume. That ability.
No, I on my character sheet I have glow paint. I think it's from my Cyberpunk days. But yeah,
It erupts, and there's this spray of paint, this kind of speckled light green paint that casts its kind of whole cloud over that part of the room. And you can see the figure, it doesn't hit everything all at once perfectly, so you see partial objects moving, and it looks like you can see his chair being dragged, and you can see like the shoulder and arm of someone dragging them.
Yep.
It looks like the rest of the Baron's body blocked the person behind getting painted.
Yeah.
So that's what you see kind of following.
In Slash, I'm going to use my banter ability, which will bonus action give allies an opening by drawing attention of the opponent. The next attack an ally makes against a target will have advantage.
Okay.
He goes, "Where are you going, Baron?"
You
And his skin lights up because his cybernetics didn't go offline.
nice.
So all like his tattoos start to light up and his hair starts to glow.
Metal.
You start to get this ambient light throughout the room now. These little pockets between Slash root glowing and the paint as it's sprayed in this aerosol cloud. Fish, you're up.
So the fish gets up from the chair he was sitting in, and he just takes a quick step forward and he kicks that can of spray paint at the person pushing the chair, which seems silly, but it hits the wall behind him and starts spinning and spraying paint on the ground. I'm using an ability called Watch Your Step. So I turn a 10-foot area slick. He needs to make a dexterity check or fall prone.
Amazing.
Anyone within 10 feet of that guy. I don't know if Baron's in a chair, right?
Correct.
So it would probably just be the guy pushing the chair. And the DC is going to be set. How do you figure that out?
8
rolled
plus
a 14.
int plus your whatever it's called.
8 plus proficiency plus
Proficiency.
your
All right,
modifier.
So the DC is 15 then.
They got with their modifier, their dex.
Oh,
they
you
got
rolled a 14.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So they got a 15 total. So that makes it. But you do see them kind of slip for a moment, but it doesn't seem to actually slow them down.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's 8 plus your
Int modifier
int
plus
modifier
your
plus your
proficiency.
proficiency. Okay, yeah, so 15.
Just missed.
That's not high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a
no.
level 4 character. That's
Yeah.
and that's the max it could possibly be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's with a 20 in.
until your proficiency goes up.
Yeah, I'm just
Which is
saying,
next
like,
level,
as,
yeah.
as
But
a like. it's
Isn't that
just-
normal for
that's not a lot.
D&D for spell DCs?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
I
way
guess
you
so.
calculate spells DCs. And they feel low for a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's not until you get up there that like you get a
But you hope that
17
they only
DC.
have like a +1, +2 or whatever to save
Mhm.
against, or
Yep.
to try to save it.
Yep. At the very least, you added a lot more illumination to that area, if not slowing them down. And we got Mazzino.
So what does he see with his one eye?
Right now, you can see this sort of. It almost looks like fog as the aerosol continues to kind of spread out to the rest of the room, and it kind of rests on different surfaces. So you start to make out objects. It's kind of hard as a lot of things are incomplete, but you do see about half of the Baron, and then another arm on the behind the Baron, clearly pulling him towards a doorway.
I see the doorway.
You know that the doorways. You see a healthy portion of it from where Fish kicked the can and splattered the iridescence or glow in the dark paint on the wall.
Okay. Mazzinho is, as he's turning from that the break in the wall that we entered from, and all of this shit popped off. He spins, and as he does, he drops his elbow, and his machine gun, it's a PKM, comes up, and it rests into his other hand, and he just starts spraying at the doorway. So he's going to use suppressive fire,
Nice.
but to prevent them from getting to their destination.
Okay. You don't even roll for that, do you?
No, it just happened.
No,
Yeah, it just happens. They clearly stop in their tracks, and you can see that she or it dives for cover and pushes Baron hard back into the room. You kind of see him spin slowly on the chair.
Slash actually laughs out loud.
Yeah, it is. It's a mess in here. It's a total mess. Top of the round, she has disappeared behind a piece of furniture.
Just so you know, if they end their turn in that area, then they have to check it in.
Okay, great. And top of the round, we're with Bugbear.
As this person ducks behind that piece of furniture, just something huge crashes down on that piece of furniture. I'm going to use my crush ability.
Hulk smash.
I have advantage to break objects. My melee attacks have a +1 piercing value, so they can break through harder stuff. And I do get a little bit more damage when I use both my power arms in the same attack.
Which I'm assuming you do.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to make a athletics check or like an attack roll?
Make an attack roll.
All right.
Just standard, because the visibility in here is still very challenging.
Sure. I'm kind of just trying to smash the cover if I hit
Sure.
them. I'm going to use power attack.
Okay.
-5 to hit, +10 to damage if I hit. 5.
You have advantage, by the way,
I have advantage, that's right.
from me.
That's right.
My banter goes on.
That is a 14.
So you don't split the chair in half per se, but you hit it so hard that it flies across the room and shatters. And you see kind of all that you see before you is the shadow of the chair because there's no paint there. And you can see an arm that's glowing. Because you have to imagine this is almost total darkness.
Yeah.
And the illumination is very faint that comes from anything and everything. /root.
Slash is going to level his budget arm slugger at this arm
Slugger.
and approximate where the chest is from that arm, and he'll take a shot.
Go for it.
It's a 18.
That hits.
Slugger is a D12. And that's plus dex, right?
For damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a range.
Yep. So 12 points of damage. As this loud, it has the loud tag.
Yep.
A very loud revolver goes off in this small room.
The flash.
Probably don't hear it over a PKM, which is fun.
True.
It is chaos in here.
His ears are turned down right now.
Yeah, right? There's things flying across the room as this massive assault rifle is just unleashing on the wall and door area behind. The flash of the pistol, your slugger, immediately illuminates the area, and you see a woman with this kind of rosy pink skin and she looks startled for a moment and then kind of gets flung backwards from the force of the shot, and she kind of crumples to the wall in the back. Baron is still slowly spinning in his chair. Matt, are you still firing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Fish, you're up.
Belt hit.
Fish walks over, takes the chip, whatever micro disc, I don't know.
They're usually called chips in Cyberpunk.
Whatever the brain dance is on, takes it out of whatever computer it's in.
Yep.
And tucks it into his vest, and then heads towards the hole in the wall, and says, "We've got what we need. Let's go."
Yeah, but he might have more information on his.
You're screaming that.
I just look at.
You guys are screaming back and forth at each other as this psychopath.
Yeah,
I just look at Mazzino, who's
his
like,
barrel is glowing red, and it's just
and I
lighting up.
shrug. Think we're past talking.
Well, I don't want to talk. I just want to get to his agent. Yeah. Well, when I get to my turn, I'll.
Yeah, Matt, your turn.
It looks like they're
Miz,
just
hey,
standing
Miz.
around.
Fish walks by you and he's trying to scream something to the other ones. He kind of puts his hands in the air and then walks out the door.
Hell, he lets go of the trigger.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
is
we
it-
got him, Miz.
So
You
Wait.
hear whimpering.
it's okay.
Well, I don't know about okay, but
It's still dark in here. And then maybe 30 seconds go by and the lights kick back on again. It looks like the room just got savaged.
where the
holes
door
everywhere.
is just gone.
I say, just take the agent. We have to get out of here.
Yeah. Slash goes up to Baron. He slowly stops him from spinning, and then reaches into his pocket and tries to.
You find it.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself, why didn't I just take this in the beginning?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it had all happened so quickly. And
He has the 9 wisdoms.
he had
Why did we watch the brain dance in his office?
And the four of you, unless Bugbear, you have something you want to do.
Bugbear, when the lights come on, you had seen the chair swivel and the painted form of Baron sort of vanish behind a dark screen, and then the lights come on, and Bugbear has his hand on his other shoulder, leaning in, says, "Where are they? Where's my brother?"
I don't know, Bugbear. And quite frankly, it still stands.
Ethics. And Slash kind of throws his hand up as he walks through the hole.
Does he have like a watch or anything I could just steal from him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just want to take something from him.
He has a necklace.
Picture of his kids on his desk.
No, he has a necklace on.
All right.
It's a large pendant.
I grab it and I pull it.
Breaks off easily. Actually, it's somehow resistant to your giant cybernetic arms.
That's weird.
No, it snaps off.
Slice his head off because it doesn't come off.
And then as I'm following everyone else out the door, I knock over the picture of his kids on his desk.
The four of you walk out of a rather nondescript building that still is, the Baron's place of business. And when you come out of the office, there's sort of a sullen rain falling down that comes through the gaps from above. There are tall buildings surrounding you. You're in sort of a subsection of the city. The actual street level is about 8 stories above you. The city has grown and slowly risen. So this part that you're in now is sort of this sub-city that exists in a lot of different areas. And it's sort of a forgotten area. There are a lot of people down here coming and going. Most are the city's poor or forgotten. When the blast went off 4 years ago, it displaced and made about 2 million people homeless. and many of them did not recover. And
I'm sure they all came. The government came in and helped those people.
So an interesting
Basically
note,
non-existent.
an interesting note to our listeners and people who want to know more about Night City. Night City actually is not part of the U.S. territory. It was considered an independent city-state. And that's what, when all this kicked off and when the bomb went off, that's why there weren't more repercussions, because it wasn't necessarily bombing a specific government. So that also meant that when it came time to recovery and rebuilding, it was a much harder process. And the current president of the U.S. largely ignored the efforts. And so now the four of you are standing outside of this place of business. There are people across the street who are kind of standing looking at what's happened. They've heard the machine gun going off, but they see the four of you walk out and they quickly move on.
Bugbear throws his hood up over his head.
I make my way to you said we're like 8 levels underground, so I make my way to like a public elevator lift.
Sure. Yeah.
Fucking swipe my eddies to pay for it because I'm sure nothing's free.
Absolutely.
Choose economy. It's going to take longer. Just wait for the doors to open. And I pull out a little notepad, actual paper notepad, and start writing down notes with an actual pencil.
Bing. Doors open.
I kind of don't look up from it and just step in.
Yeah, well,
Zeno
follow.
follows.
Yeah.
Free
Well,
ride?
I got his agent here. He flips it around in his flips the agent in his hands.
Is password protected?
Fish doesn't even look up. He just says, "Can he track us with you having that?"
Probably, but I can get around it. Don't worry. This time I'll get around it. I will. I'm gonna use one of my hacker plans.
Sure. How does it work?
I'm in, which is it's the one I didn't have printed out because I just picked it out. But it's basically I get access to a computer or smartphone device as long as I have a computer or smartphone accessible to me. If there's someone actively using it or an AI using it, they can defend it against my my DC, which is 12. Because it's my multi-class.
Got it.
Yeah. But basically, if they're not actively using it, then I can get access to the device.
Okay. You,
With whatever caveats you want to put on.
sure. You jack into the agent. You actually take a hardline tether and jack into the agent because it's got auxiliary ports like all smart pieces of technology should have in this universe. And after running a few different programs, the phone opens. And you have as most agents operate, you have contact lists, you have kind of access to the equivalent of emails, and different things like that.
Ha ha ha. I'm in, Chooms. All right, where's the location on this thing? He's going to turn off location services. Anything that's like track the agent.
You're able to navigate it pretty seamlessly. You've done this dozens of times before, and the tracking, the GPS tracker on it goes off.
Can we talk safe houses?
Yeah.
We worked together before. We're a established team. I'm guessing we know each other.
I think some of you know each other and some of you don't.
So this is kind of it's a new group.
Yes.
All right. So we don't have a collective base.
Yeah.
But now is the time you could find one?
I would
or-
say Fish has a place, but not in the city, so not helpful at the moment.
Okay.
But he has a safe house out in the wastelands.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Slash does have a place within Night City, just an apartment in a high rise.
You also have access to a variety of different spots in a club called the Cage.
As the lift is going up, writing notes, and I say, "Should we go to the cage?"
Yeah. Let's head to the cage and have a look-see on this.
Could we get some
Stage.
ramen? I'm hungry.
Sure. Sure. You got the eddies for it?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spot you again.
No,
Bugbear,
I
for
got it.
for the ramen.
I got it.
You stop at a bodega. You get some ramen. You wait for a cab. Well, actually, do you have vehicles that you drove here, or do you think you cabbed it here?
I would have drove.
Okay.
We could have driven together or all just met up. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe 2 cars.
Sure.
Slash has a car, sports car, and he probably drove with Bugbear.
Yeah, probably.
The two of you are a little later to get to the cage as you stop for ramen.
Zeno riding with me.
Yeah, probably.
Slash, I'll get you back in like a couple of days.
Yeah, and he turns on the radio, and just very loud electro rock music starts blaring through the speakers.
Fish drives a antique, like a 90s Land Rover. Gas. I think it is actually like diesel powered.
Awesome.
He probably knows some nomads out in the wasteland that he gets fuel from.
You know of a chemical process to use either Chew-2 or diesel, because the diesel engine will just about burn anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably burn you too. Yeah.
Veggie oil, you name it.
Yeah.
The two of you, Bugbear and Slash Root, you're driving. Bugbear, you're sitting in the passenger seat. You're too big for it. It's uncomfortable. Starting to annoy you. Little things irritate you often these days. And you're sitting there kind of grumpy and agitated, and your hands are kind of in your lap, and you look down at this necklace that you snapped off of the Baron's neck. And you're looking at it, and you kind of want to just crush it in your hands. And you're kind of adjusting it, and then you realize that it is a data chip.
Oh, shit.
You feel a tap on your shoulder as this music's blaring. He goes, this one's Kerber roasted. I wrote this one in a brain dance. It was a brain dance of like this gladiatorial fight, and yeah, Kerber roasted, man. It's like, it's definitely gonna get the top of the charts. What do you think, man?
You look over and Bugbear, the window is now open, and his right side of his body is just hanging out the window, like just trying to breathe fresh air and not hear the deafening. In his other hand, he's holding up a little the pendant, the little necklace.
Hey, what's that, Choom?
It's a chip.
What?
It's a chip.
Slash turns down the music. A chip? Where'd you get that?
I took it off the Baron.
Oh.
Maybe it has his agent's password in it.
Yeah, I don't. Already got in there.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
How long until we're there?
It's just around this corner.
Meanwhile, in the Land Rover, we're listening. We're listening to Pink Floyd. We work together a bit. You think?
Yeah, probably once or twice.
I think we're a good team because we're so opposite.
Yeah. You know that he's fairly easily influenceable, but you know that his strengths.
How about this? Unless you have another idea, that you were put in contact with him because of his gang connections. And,
okay.
Why a field researcher needs gang connections is mostly because of
Buying stolen shit.
correct. That is.
That's the great thing about archaeology. Everything is stolen shit.
Yep. That's for you, Liv. Elgin marbles. That's all I have to say. Give them back. Sorry. So that's how the two of you met.
Say, what do you think of the chrome job, Bugbear? Seems a little unstable.
Very. He seems very excitable.
Seems like someone who Doesn't quite know the extent of what he's capable of.
What?
Untested power.
Yes.
And his brother is one of the four horsemen. The hacker in the Braindance Switch.
Oh, the movie.
They're brothers.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I nod.
It doesn't look the same.
Do you have connections to any of them? The ones in the movie?
He stops and it looks like he's thinking, but in fact he's like rolling through his cyber brain, looking at all of his contacts.
Nice. You go through your contact list.
No, I don't have any of their numbers. No. I could probably find out. I can ask. I've got some family. They have connections. Yeah, you this
I've never met.
CD that we're listening to, right? This is one of those shiny discs you got from them.
I nod.
It's good.
We pull up at the club.
You close the doors. The club, you can hear the sound of some sort of death metal band playing from the basement. And as you guys head to the doorway, we have a flashback. And this flashback is you, Fish. You're sitting in a waiting room at one of the newer skyscrapers in Night City. The secretary nods to you, and the door swings open automatically to an office. A man by the name of Barca. He's tall, broad-shouldered, with a square jawline and broad forehead. His hair is slicked completely back. He has 2 glowing points at each temple and wears a black suit with a black shirt below.
Tiefling.
The skin is pale and both eyes glow with a pale violet color. He's shaking hands with who you now know to be Bugbear. And you catch the tail end of a conversation. He says, "You've made a smart choice and consider me a resource. Please contact me with any questions. I'll send more details to your agent." "Ah, Dr. Pisces, please come in." He kind of ushers Bugbear out. This gangly looking, heavily cybernetic guy has his parka hood pulled up over his head, kind of gives you a sideways glance and walks by.
Mister. It's Mister. I'm not a doctor.
"Ah, I heard incorrectly. I apologize. Please come in. Thank you for accepting my invitation. You can confirm that the eddies have been deposited to your account?"
I nod.
"So, Mr. Pisces, why I have brought you in, we are looking for some individuals." And you see him smile and then kind of chuckle at this. It looks unnatural on his face. Like this is not a man who laughs a lot, at least at what you would consider to be lighthearted things. And we'd like you to assist in locating them. These individuals in question have been exposed to a rather rare form of radiation, and we'd like a man of your skills to be involved. This device, he's walking across the room. He walks over to a table with a black cube on it. He taps it, and the black cover folds away to reveal a shape, a dodecagon, a 12-sided kind of polyhedral shape. It's a little bigger than a softball. And it has 2 holes passing through it so you can see to the center of it. And there's a small beam of light that is blocked sort of from passing all the way through by something that's impossibly thin. So you can see that the light is hitting a surface, and if you turn it the other way to look through the other hole, you can't see the width of that surface. And he says it has a rather grandiose name. It's called a quantum trap. And really, at its basic level, it creates static on a quantum level. And this will neutralize any radiation issues these individuals have and will allow you to safely transport them back to us. It must remain active at all times. And when
you see Fish is smirking at the ridiculousness of this guy trying to tell me this is radiation.
Yep. Absolutely.
He's not.
You know that
yeah.
it is something else entirely. And he says it must remain active at all times when they are in your custody. In exchange for these services, we can pay you well and grant you access to Nostradamus's personal collection. When he says that, you have heard of Nostradamus. He is technically, in game terms, a media class, but he's a bit of a recluse. But he owns a very well fortified warehouse on the outskirts of the city and has the largest known collection of actual books. He has gathered them from all points of, or all ports, and has scavenged them, and he is compiling them. Because if you remember now, the net and or internet is a very different thing these days. It's localized. There's no worldwide web. There's no kind of unlimited access. And so this source of information, especially antiquated information, is incredibly rare. And that is clearly the carrot he is offering you, more so than the money. And he says, what do you say? Do we have a deal? Thank you for listening to Red Rising, a cyberpunk misadventure. Of course, we are forever grateful if you can leave us a review, or if you have a chance, share our stories with others, whether it's on socials, subreddits, a bullhorn, or a whispered secret. Check out our website for all your burning questions and eager updates. And don't forget, we have a separate D&D podcast because we're super nerds. Our intro music was a Wilhelm Scream. The theme song is Neon Drifter by Antti Martikainen. All scores by Antti Martikainen and Data Soundscapes. Their YouTube channel is Spacewave CR. Check them out. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, hack the planet.
That's nasty.
Scoodly douche.